Mics are on.
All right. Starting Alpha Nerds number 6 in 3. Hang on. Okay. 2, 1. Hello. Looks like we're back again. We keep doing these shows, Seth.
Having a good time. We're having a good time.
Yeah, we're having a blast. You are joined here by myself, Pedro, Dark Temptation Carrasquillo, and by my cohort here, Seth, all the way from Hershey, Pennsylvania, White Chocolate Slike House. Fun fact, not from Hershey. I don't know why we keep saying it.
They call me white chocolate because I melt in your mouth.
Yeah, there you go. Outstanding.
That's kind of gross.
And I love it. That's like a little raunchy. I like a little bit of undertone of sleaze on our show. just a little bit of sleaze that we're just slight scumbags. So, welcome to Alpha Nerds, obviously gaming podcast. Now before we get into it, we have some housekeeping. We are on Google Play, correct?
Yes.
Our main show, our flagship show, Two Beers and a Whiskey, is on Google Play and hopefully soon to be iTunes, correct?
Yes.
And that will obviously be followed by Alpha Nerds. Please like our Facebook page. We are on Facebook at Two Beers and a Whiskey. We will soon be joining Twitter and Instagram, Snapchat. We're gonna do a big social media rollout.
A blitz?
Yes, a blitz, if you will. We're gonna be all over the fucking place.
I'm counting on you for this, Pedro, because we've talked about this before.
Yes. It's one of those things, like, now that I have a little bit of free time, we have some follow-through to do.
Yeah.
So look for that. We'll get right into it. Seth, what have you been playing, my man?
I forgot to bring my games down.
It doesn't matter.
I've been playing a few games. So last episode, I was talking about how I just couldn't commit to any game. I was in a gaming pit hole. And I don't know what, Pedro. Something was pulling me towards Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's weird, but a switch just flipped, and I was like, wait, I need to play that.
No? Not that switch?
No.
Not that
I switched just flipped, and I was like, I need to play that. So I went and got it, and dude, I fucking love that game. It's so good. And honestly, can't think of a single bad thing about it.
It doesn't shock me that got you into it, because I think from what we talked about on Two Beers and Whiskey, you are very you have a certain spot in your heart for anything in those ancient times, like Greece and Rome and stuff.
But
like
here's the thing is that I didn't like Origins.
That was in Egypt, correct?
Yeah, I thought Assassin's Creed Origins was really boring.
Yeah.
Whereas Odyssey it's killing it, man. He starts out with the Battle of 300.
Yeah,
you start out. The first cutscene has Leonidas, and I'm like, I'm in.
Are there any Spartan kicks?
Yes.
Yeah, outstanding.
Yep, of course there is. Naturally.
I feel like they knew they had to do that.
The only thing I don't like about it, I guess, is that they did two protagonists, right? So you
male
can choose
and female, correct?
Alexios and Cassandra.
Okay.
Because they did that, and basically when you play Alexios, Cassandra is in the Deimos role.
Okay.
Which I don't want to spoil.
Yeah.
It's like hard. But when you play Cassandra,
yeah.
Alexios is in the Deimos role. So it's the same campaign no matter which character you choose. It's just their places are flip-flopped.
Okay. That makes sense.
Now, because of that, though, there's no lore as to who would be the main, actual canon protagonist that did all these things. Whereas with the rest of Assassin's Creed, there is. So that does bother me a little bit.
Hashtag R.I.P. Desmond.
Yeah, R.I.P. Desmond.
Okay. From what I saw of you playing it, you seem to be having a blast. I like what I saw with the bounty hunter system.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty entertaining. It reminds me of the Nemesis system.
Yeah, a little bit.
Is that from? That's not from the same developer, is it?
No.
Okay, because the games look similar.
Yeah. It's just funny because when you have a bounty on your head, wherever that bounty hunter is in the world, he beelines it in a straight line towards you.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb. I don't like that.
But it's really
funny.
Yeah, because you can scout him out and you can see in your vision, and you can just see his character, the outline of his character, just running in your direction, like the shortest possible path in your direction.
Yeah. And
you just imagine how far has this man been running?
I get a very 28 Days Later vibe from where you see zombies booking it towards you.
Yeah, that's a great movie. I love those movies. What are you looking at, buddy? What's wrong?
I hear Noctis. I hear him running his mouth up there. Oh. Update: our buddy Noctis is running a marathon right now.
Yeah, he is trying to get that survival skill up.
Trying to get that survival skill up. More to come later.
That is the other main game I've been playing is Final Fantasy 15. And We were playing this because we went through my trophies the other night. I forget why.
We were just looking at your trophies.
We were just looking at my trophies, and we realized I almost had every trophy in Final Fantasy 15, so we just went and got them.
Yeah, I was like, why the fuck don't you have the platinum? You're like, I don't know.
I didn't know I was that close to finishing the game.
Uh-huh.
So we did some hard time this weekend. Did some
That
hard work.
we did.
Do you want to get that now?
Let's get through what bullshit I've been doing, and then we'll get into it.
Okay.
Because we have fucking structure here, buddy.
Okay.
Right? We have a fucking plan.
All
We're
right.
not just savages. Actually, I'm a savage, but it's okay.
Yeah,
But,
dreams.
My dream is where I control everything. Why wouldn't I be a savage? Of course. I've been playing The Witcher 3.
Mm-hmm.
You got me into it. Like I'm still finishing a couple side quests. I'm still level 7.
That's respectable.
Yeah,
Because you're not going to get to level like 99 in The Witcher.
No, fuck no.
That's not a thing.
Not even happening.
But
I was having some frustrations where I just feel maybe for me, some of the things like I finally got to understand the blade oils and gathering the ingredients is kind of a pain in the ass.
But I never did that.
What?
Never fucked with the blade oils and stuff.
Oh, you never fucked with the blade oils? I fucks with the blade oils.
Yeah, I just use my magic.
Yeah, no. Every time I encounter something, like, oh, what are you weak to? I use that blade oil, and it
Respectable.
Mitigating results. But I've enjoyed it. I really my favorite thing I think is to just I don't fast travel anywhere. I just kind of ride the horse because I enjoy the world. Like noticed one observation: a lot of people hanging.
Oh yeah, because they're in the middle of a war.
Yeah, I know, but like some of those places they got hung from are really high. I'm like, how'd they get up there? Like what they, you know what I mean? It's kind of some of those things. Like I guess I'm the one person who picks that apart. I'm like, how'd that happen?
Yeah, I guess.
But no, I like it. I'm not a fan of the combat. Like it just like I know it doesn't. It works. It's not bad. It's not the combat. It's not a bad design thing. I think for me, like I just don't like having to dodge, and like the way he dodges sometimes kind of throws me off. Where it breaks up the flow of the fight for me. Where like I mean maybe I just can't get parrying down, but it just something's not right there.
Yeah. See, so we were talking about this, and I never parried. I was never a parry guy. I was always a dodger, so I'd slip at the outside or whatever, and then I'd attack. Then later in the game, when you actually start to fight the Wild Hunt, you need to be a little more creative. So like there's one bullshit fight in general, and I forget the guy's name, but he's got a big shield and I think it's either a sword or a mace, and he teleports.
What?
Yeah, he'll teleport. So like basically what you have to do is you have to use Quen, your shield ability.
Yeah.
And
get him to hit you.
Yeah, you try to dodge, and then in case he hits you, then you got a chance to attack. But I love The Witcher, dude. It's like one of my favorite games of all time, and I wanted to tell you this, and I forgot until just now, is that there is a second way to control Geralt that they patched in. Because people were complaining. You know how you were talking about how it's like kind of floaty?
Yeah.
They did that on purpose for appearance. But you can go in your settings, and they patched in a different way, which is more like traditional video game. Like he's heavier and like easier to control, I guess.
Yeah, because some of that's a little frustrating, but I'm enjoying it so far. It's definitely a game that's a slow burn. Where for me, like I can't just sit there every day and play The Witcher. Because I think sometimes I overwhelm myself where there's like a bunch of shit I have to do.
Oh, that was me, buddy. I played that fucking game forever. Just straight. I was so into that world. And I'll tell you what, The Witcher, I think I've said this before in this podcast, is that it's got the best ending in any game I've ever played. Just the way that game ends, and I don't want to spoil it, but
well, you're like a lore junkie, so like that game's right up your alley.
Yeah, no, that's my cup of tea.
Yeah, and like I enjoy the lore. I read all the notes and shit I find. I enjoy the side quests. I enjoy kind of how in depth they are.
Yeah, really good.
Usually the fantasy setting isn't one that holds me long, so I'm a little shocked I'm even still playing it.
Yeah.
It's good though. Graphics, it's a beautiful game. I first hated the soundtrack, but I grew to love it because I kind of once I was like just slow riding in the world, kind of observing the landscape. I'm like, okay, I see why they did this. It's more like an atmospheric music.
Yeah. Yep.
So I've been playing that, and then I just kind of been messing around with some old RPGs. Like I've been playing games on my phone. Like you saw the other day, I was playing the original SMT. Still grinding through that. Playing a little Phantasy Star 3. I for some reason I'm in the mood for like just a grind fucking heavy RPG, and I settled on I'm going for the platinum in a world of Final Fantasy. So I'm back into that rabbit hole and enjoying myself thoroughly.
Didn't you say it's super hard?
No, we're talking about Star Ocean.
But I thought you said the World of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that one's gonna be an undertaking because it's Monster Collection. So completing all the Mirage boards and just getting all the shit. And like, the only thing I don't like about that game is to get the true ending. It's kind of convoluted where you have to get all these. You have to collect all the summons, and they don't really specify as to how. Got to use a rumor board and all this shit. I'm using a guide, but it's kind of just annoying.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. Joe, telling you what, then. I forget what I was gonna say.
And then obviously I've been helping you do the Final Fantasy 15 Platinum. So let's get into that, Seth. Because when I saw your trophy list and I saw you didn't have the Platinum for Final Fantasy 15, I'm like, why the fuck don't you have the Platinum? Because like to me, it's not a hard Platinum.
Yeah.
It's doable.
Yeah.
It's just certain aspects are not fun.
Dude, well, okay, so first off, can we just talk about how much bullshit that survival skill is?
Yeah, I told you. That trophy will break you.
That is some bullshit. I have rubber bands on my controllers, and Noctis was running for over 5 hours straight, and it still didn't get him all the way level 10.
Nope.
I mean, Square Enix could cut that trophy in half, and it'd still be a challenging trophy.
Mm-hmm. That trophy's literally the hardest one to get.
Yeah.
To me. That's the one that sucks.
Yeah. I'm surprised you actually did it, like, organically, where you ran.
Yep, I ran every fucking step of the way.
To me, this just works. I'm like, oh,
yeah. I mean, I didn't really think to do that. I was kind of like, and part of that was like I was trying to, I was doing hunts and other things just to keep myself busy.
Mm-hmm.
But like it was after a while, I was just like, dude, this is terrible.
Yeah. So once I get the survival skill to level 10, I gotta complete like 27 more side quests,
and you gotta do the fishing.
And I gotta get my fishing up. Which, from what I saw of the fishing, it seems like that's gonna be pretty easy.
I hate the other one. The fishing sucked too.
Well, basically, the guide I saw said to go to Vesper Pool.
Yeah, that's where I did it. Yep.
Get like the max stuff and just fish your ass off.
Yep.
But if that's the last trophy, I can fucking grind it out.
Yeah, it's just one of those things like one of those times you put on a podcast or something else in the background and you just kind of plug away at it mindlessly. Mm-hmm. But so in regards to like the end game stuff, because I kind of showed you some of the end game stuff you didn't even know was there.
Yeah.
What do you think of all that?
It's fine.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My problem with end game stuff, and I feel like a lot of RPGs do this, is that in order to get the end game stuff, you have to do the hardest stuff in the game.
Yeah.
But once you get that stuff,
there's no reward as to like other things to do.
There's no reason to continue playing, even though you just got like you were telling me the ball mug. You have to go through the secret dungeons to get the ball mug. Apparently, like extremely difficult, right?
Yes.
Well, once you get the ball mug, the secret dungeons are, I'm assuming, going to be done, and you have nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Basically, the secret dungeons are ones that you saw. The one I was doing to get you the Sword of the Tall, the one royal arm.
Yeah.
And what I had to do for that. That wasn't even the whole thing. Like I showed you where the hidden room was, where you then get to the real part of the dungeon. And then you go down and down and down and down and down, and then you fight another fucking Jabberwock that's way stronger.
Yeah, it's some bullshit.
And it's one of those things like, so when I did just about all of the dungeons except one, I think, and then when I downloaded the update for the King of the Yor or whatever it was, it fucking overrode it. So I mean, I could go back and do it again, but I have a big attachment to the end game stuff because like for me, I did it all just organically. Like I didn't jump out at 15 then go back for the platinum. Like I just did it.
You just kept going.
Yeah, where like I beat the game and I was like, man, I have a lot of these trophies. Let me go for the platinum. So I discovered the Pitius Ruins, which you loved, your favorite dungeon ever.
We'll talk about that in a second. Just continue.
Doing the hunt for the Soul Saber, all the legendary weapons. That's probably my favorite quests.
The legendary weapons.
Yeah, because some of the monsters you encounter and like some of that stuff. I beat the Omega weapon. I just did so much stuff, and like the quest for the Royal Arms, I really loved, minus the Castle Mark dungeon. But
yeah, that thing sucks.
Yeah, you saw the bullshit they threw at me. Like.
Yeah, I was like, well, Jesus, this is like I don't know. I guess the thing that I'm seeing is that some of that stuff doesn't even look fun. It's like a slog. Almost. Yeah, it's like the Castle Mark dungeon when you were doing it, and I was watching you. I was like, this is like a slog. And same with the Adamantoids. I was like, yeah, this isn't even really fun. It's just like. It's not hard. It's just
tedious. Yeah,
it took me 2 hours to beat that thing. I was like, what the fuck?
And my problem with the Adamantoids is it's a great spectacle, but I feel like that fight doesn't work very well.
No. I got lost inside the Adamantoids many times. I was like, where the fuck am I? What's
I
happening?
will enter you.
Well, yeah, just warp strike out of it, I guess. But, yeah, I beat the Adamantoids, and like I said, it was fine. It wasn't. I was like, this isn't the greatest boss fight in this game by any means.
No, my favorite boss fight in that game is probably Arden, like the final boss. Just that whole like where you fight Ifrit and all that stuff. Like I love that boss rush. When they added the Kingdoms of Yore stuff, or the Kings of Yore, I really liked it, but I thought you were getting more. You're gonna get like 3 fights maybe. So I was like, eh. I mean, they're challenging. They're all right, but eventually, they fall. And that's kind of my problem with Final Fantasy 15, where you saw like, oh, that thing's X amount of levels above us. We're fine.
Yeah, I was like, man. And the same thing when like you're fighting enemies below you. If it was classic Final Fantasy, you'd be able to one-shot them.
Yeah, no.
But you can't.
No.
And if it was classic Final Fantasies and we fought a boss that was 50 levels above us,
we'd be dead.
He would one-shot us.
Yeah.
There's no chance.
But what I do appreciate about the game is there is a nuance to it where like once you have kind of mastery or control over the battle system, you can make Noctis do wonders. Like you saw me just fell fucking.
Yeah, I was watching you, and the way you operate, I don't really understand because I've seen you play really good, and I don't think I do much different, but I watched YouTubers play, and they can do way more damage than me, and so can you, and I'm just like, what am I doing differently? And I can't figure it out. And
so you got to use those crossblades. Basically it's just kind of got to know what the enemy's weak to, and you got to use I know you saw one YouTuber not use abilities. You got to use those abilities. Like you saw what Prompto was doing.
Yeah.
Like Prompto is my favorite one because like he does the most damage. Prompto will break limbs. He will target limbs. Ignis is second. I rarely use Gladio for anything. He's literally useless to me.
What's our time?
Oh, we have 10 minutes left.
Okay, sweet.
But my thing is, now do you see like why I was getting so much enjoyment out of Final Fantasy 15, where you saw me doing the end game stuff, and you're like, wow, you're really happy right now. I'm like, yep.
Yeah, you're in your happy place. I was watching you play, and you were just like I thought eventually you were just gonna get tired of it and like hand me the controller back, but nope, you sat there and played for a good solid 4 hours just straight, and I was like, all right, whatever. I beat the Adamantoids, I'm happy.
Yeah, and it was one of those things like I just love that game so much because of the world, and it literally has nothing to do with the story. I just love exploring the world and the spectacle, beating the big monsters, and I love the dungeons. Like they can be tedious, but I love the sense of like you're going deep into this fucking abyss. Like they do a very good job of that. And then when we come out of the break, we'll talk about the dungeon that almost broke you, where you felt true despair. And now imagine I got almost halfway through that without a guide, and I was like, okay, I need a guide. Yeah,
no, I would have given up 30 minutes in.
Really?
Yeah, 30 minutes out, I've been like, oh, this is fucking bullshit, and just left. Like, I'm not even joking. That would have been it. So.
Now, see, I appreciate stuff like that, which it leads me to kind of, before we head into the break, do you ever feel like you want to take on other endgame stuff in Final Fantasy games, or like, do you see yourself doing? No?
Nope.
See, me, like, part of the challenge kind of, like, interests me, because this is the second Final Fantasy game I platinumed. I platinumed Type 0. And Type 0 is another easy platinum, but it's one of those things, like, I also appreciated the endgame stuff in that, where there's some stuff I didn't get to do yet, which part of me sometimes like, why don't you just fire that game up and get in there? But
see, I think this goes back to my fundamental problem with Final Fantasy 15, is that for me, Final Fantasy has always been about
the story,
the narrative.
Yeah.
Yep, just that narrative, that journey from beginning to end, and once that journey's end,
you're done.
I'm done. That's it. Close the chapter. So, just like God of War. I never did any extra shit in God of War, but I was 100% content with that game.
See, because like part of me is like torn, because I'm the same way, where like I finish the main story, I'm like, all right, I'm done.
Yep.
But then like all of a sudden I'm finding myself like, I kind of want to see what they did post game stuff. Like, and a lot of what I'm noticing is like a part of what makes me fall in love with games is some of the post game stuff, where I'm like, you know what, they put a lot of love into this. Like they could have easily, all right, you're done, no more to do. But like I appreciate the fact they put extra dungeons. There's extra stuff to do. Like, even playing, like, an RPG like Mass Effect, where I was playing Andromeda, once I finished the main story, like, I didn't need to do anything else. Email. It was one of these things, but, like, I felt the need where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do all these loyalty missions. I'm going to do, I'm going to discover all the planets. I'm going to do all these things because, like, I'm just so invested in, like, into the world. And that's how I feel about, like, when I'm playing Final Fantasy 15 and Lucius. I'm like, I'm so into this.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to do all the extra stuff.
Now, here's the thing, is that I wish they would have not done all that extra stuff. Put that time into making the game complete.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make the second half of the game a lot better. Don't worry about the secret dungeon.
I'm really interested because you played all the DLC, correct?
No, I only played episode Ignis.
Some would say that's the only one you need to play. I liked episode Prompto a lot, but
Yeah.
I'm a Prompto guy.
I hate Prompto.
See, you hate Prompto, but like I feel like he speaks what you're feeling.
Maybe.
And obviously you don't need to play episode Gladiolus. Piece of shit. I didn't like it. Didn't like episode Gladio. But I am interested to see like what I think I want to do, depending on what 2019 map looks like. For content wise for Final Fantasy 15, like how many DLCs come out, what that's gonna look like.
Isn't there an episode Noctis coming out?
There's an episode Noctis, episode Arden.
I think the episode Noctis is gonna be fucking terrible.
It's a good problem, most likely. He's not a very deep character.
I think that's going to be you're gonna play as Noctis as a kid.
God, I hope not.
Because they made that character, if you remember correctly.
Yeah, that character model in
the demo.
Yeah.
I think you play as Child Noctis in that game. They not only made that character, they gave him combat abilities too.
Mm-hmm. It was like almost like playing like Kingdom Hearts a little bit. They can do that, but like it depends on what we get, like what story gets told.
Well, if I had to guess, because Noctis' story is pretty much told, I think if I had to guess, I would say it is the story of Noctis when he was it bit by a lion or something like that?
Snake.
A snake, and he goes to Altissia.
Yeah.
Not Altissia, right?
Yeah, Altissia. No, Tenebrae.
Yeah, he falls in love with Luna.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the episode Arden stuff. I love Arden. Like I think he's a great fucking
if
character.
episode Arden goes back to like that story of him getting betrayed,
yeah,
that would be fucking sweet.
And my thing is like I just want to see what they do with the entire encompassing narrative. Where part of what I love about this game and part of what I hate about this game, it's like two sides of a coin. Where to me, like I watched Kingsglaive. I played the game. I played or you didn't really need to play the King Regis stuff. Like it was like a game stuff. I forget what it's called.
It's fun though. Do you play it?
Oh, it's a great game.
Yeah, it's fun.
You don't need to play it. It doesn't have anything to do with the story. But I played all the demo stuff that came out, so I got a little bit of the content there.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the Brotherhood anime. Like I'm so invested in that world. Where someone playing like the base games, like they're gonna see all those plot holes and be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And that's the part. Like I love it that that they gave me all these mediums to kind of watch or get all this content, but at the same time, like. Case in point, spoilers. The part with Prompto in the main game where you're like, oh, this door's closed. Boop. Huh. All right, let's move.
Yeah,
like that's a problem.
I'd be like, so you gonna talk about that?
Yeah, you know what I mean. And then they kind of in episode Prompto, they kind of say what it is, but they again don't really give you the explanation you're looking for.
That's annoying.
And it's one of those things like, and then they do this weird thing. See, are you gonna play episode Prompto?
Yeah.
See, because it's not long. I could probably sit there and play it with you. It's not really that long. But they just do some interesting revelations, some other stuff. You're like, oh, that's kind of stupid. But I just feel
that takes place when he gets separated from them.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually pretty cool what they do.
Is Ignis in it then?
No. RNA is in it.
Is Gladiolus in it?
Nope.
That's weird. Can Gladiolus be with him?
Nope. It basically goes from the part where he gets kicked off the train, and they think he fell off the fucking train in the nothingness.
I don't remember that. I thought he was with them.
Nope. So it's kind of one of those things. Like I'm interested to see what your opinion will be once you get all that, and like once the episode Arden stuff comes out. Like when all the DLC is done, and whenever they release a complete edition or whatever it is, because I feel like it'd be stupid not to. And just to see what people's final opinion is on that, because I have a lot of love for that game. I understand why it gets some hate. Granted, I don't think it's got Final Fantasy 13 hate, but because I remember the game was actually fairly well received, but minus episode 13 or chapter 13.
Chapter 13 broke me.
Yeah, it broke a lot of people.
Yeah, I was playing through that and I was like, I should just quit.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I was loving the game up to that point, and I was playing through that, and I was like, I should just quit. Yeah.
All right. Well, at this junction, we're going to take a little break. Following the break, we're going to follow up a little bit on some of the endgame stuff we encountered in filling Final Fantasy 15. Seth's going to give you some of his takes, some of his things that frustrated him, and we're gonna see what his actual final opinion is on Final Fantasy 15.
Yep.
So stay tuned. We'll be back very shortly. All right. Ready?
Yep.
All right, welcome back to Alpha Nerds. We took ourselves a quick break, ran to the gas station. Not ran because I can't run right now, but we briskly walked, and we're back. Now, before we headed into the break,
side question though.
Side question.
When's the last time you ran, like you fucking ran?
3 weeks? No, longer than 5 weeks ago.
When we were chasing down a person.
Yeah, had to deal with something at my place of employment.
I can't think of the last time like I fucking was like.
Usually it's up the stairs too, which is the worst.
Yeah.
And like, because part of me, like, some people skip steps, but I wrestled when I was in high school, so I'm abused. So I hit every step. Don't miss one.
Oh yeah, I don't miss a step either.
Don't miss a step. Don't you dare miss a step. I'm traumatized.
Yeah.
So I was like, why do you hit every step? I'm like, just don't. No, I don't want to talk.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
That's how you can tell who wrestled though, like the person who hits every fucking step.
Yeah.
So getting back to our discussion, before we hit that's gross. Before we headed into break, we were talking kind of about the end game content and what your thoughts were. Like, I know there was one dungeon in particular that the famous one, the I think it's the Pious Runes, or Pitius Runes, or whatever it's called.
I read it as Piteous.
Piteous? No, I think it's Pious.
The Piteous.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. And basically, it's the hardest dungeon in the game by far. That involves no enemies.
It took us 4 hours to go through. I'm pretty sure it was over 4 hours.
Oh yeah,
but it was like around 4 hours.
Yep.
I thought it was a bunch of bullshit because I was gonna have a guide in front of me, and I was just gonna get it done. Like, I was like, if you have a guide, it can't be too bad. But you told me something that was very interesting, which was there's no enemies in it.
Yeah.
It's a platforming dungeon in Final Fantasy 15, which has notoriously bad like just movement controls.
Yeah.
You can't even interact with something without jumping.
Yep.
Which is disgusting. But it's just this giant labyrinth of like this non-linear puzzle solving bullshit with you have to make precise jumps, and if your timing has to be perfect, and the game is not set up to do that.
Now, because at first you were like, no, this isn't bad, and then you're doing pretty good. You're following the guide. You're putting in the work. Mm-hmm. When did you realize this was a problem?
I don't know exactly. It was more or less when it just kept going on and on and on. Because at first I thought we were just going to steamroll through it because I had the guide, like I said. It was probably around that first area with the red spikes that I just could not get past. I couldn't make those jumps. And then I want to say like the halfway mark of that dungeon, it turns into a fucking side scroller. And that's when I was like,
I remember that. You're like,
I'm done.
Are you kidding me? Is this a joke?
Yeah, I'm done. And I handed you the controller, and I let you deal with the rest of the frustration for the dungeon. Like, that was it. I was done. The piteous ruins can go fuck themselves. And I'm going to say, like, if there is an aspiring game dev, do a game study on the piteous ruins. Like, go play it. And just see how a game is not supposed to be, because that was fucking terrible. It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, there's certain jumps you have to make, like the one off of Ares' back, that thing coming off of Ares' back that you have to make.
Yeah, that one frustrated me a little bit.
That is such a precise fucking jump for a game that is not precise in any way.
Yep.
The way that game's movement is set up is basically like, okay, at the most you're going to have to talk to somebody, but we're going to put the majority of our time into the combat, which is fine. The combat's fine.
Yeah. But
it's the movement and walking and whatnot, where like when you'll stop, Noctis will take 2 extra steps. And when you hit like a decent height, he'll roll.
Or that fucked us a couple times.
It's fucking horrifying. And like when you want to turn around, he takes steps to turn around. Yep. These are things you do not see in a platform.
Nope.
And there's a reason for that. I was screaming. I was like, listen, if you were Mario, this dungeon would be done by now.
Yeah.
If you controlled like Mario, this would be done. There'd be no question about it.
And see, the part that gets me always, that gets me in a lot of despair, is that part where I told you it disorients me, where like the physics don't even make sense.
Yeah, you're basically running at 45-degree angles.
And I can tell. I look on your face. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. It's an entire part of the dungeon that's made
pitch black.
45-degree angles, pitch black, and you're running alongside these 45-degree angles, and you'll go around to the other 45-degree angle, and then like around again, and it doesn't make any fucking sense because like gravity doesn't work like that. But yeah, I thought at the very least there'd be like some sort of really cool lore, like maybe like Ares was trapped down there at some point or something like that. There's nothing. I was reading the article about it. They just made it to fuck with people.
Yep.
Because they thought it'd be creative and cool, and I'm like, it's not cool. It is not cool. And it was made by one man. Who fuck that guy? like he needs to be tried for crimes against humanity. Seriously.
Yeah. No, because that dungeon, I remember when I was doing it the first time, I'm like, And I remember thinking the same thing. I'm like, all right, I'm getting through, and then I noticed I was like halfway through. I was like, this doesn't end.
No.
Like, when does this end? And that's part of some of my problems with the Final Fantasy 15 dungeons, like the endgame dungeons. I get it, they're endgame dungeons. You don't have to do them; completely optional. But some of those dungeons are long.
Yeah.
Like the Castle March dungeon, long as shit.
That was really long. That was like too long.
You were like, oh my god.
Yeah. You were probably there for 2 hours, I bet.
Yep. Imagine this, like, you're going to do a side quest, and you pencil 3 hours of your life. Like,
yeah. See, the thing that bothers me about Square Enix is that Square Enix goes hand in hand with, like, classic 2006 to 2008 PlayStation.
Yep.
Where they're just like, we don't care if you like it or not.
We're going to do it anyway.
We're going to do it anyway because we think it's cool. And it's like, you're building games to be enjoyed, right?
Yeah.
There's no reason to have the piteous dungeon.
No.
There's no reason for it. It doesn't give you any lore. You get an accessory at the end, which is arguably useful. I still think we didn't need it. I felt like I didn't use it against the Adamantoids. Because eventually at the end of the piteous dungeon, you get the Black Hood, which auto counters for you.
Yep.
But it didn't seem like it was working.
It works, but sometimes, like, a lot of times you'll get hit, you'll be countering and then get hit again. Like, it basically won't make it in the Matrix, but, like, basically it saves you from a lot of the nonsense hits that you get. So it's one of those items that, like, I don't know. I find it useful. I still use it, but you don't necessarily need it. But it's one of those things, like, I felt to do some of the other stuff we're gonna do, it would just be helpful.
Yeah, because we traded a lot of hands.
Oh yeah. Well, and then some of the things, like, I don't like enemies being thrown at me in waves.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're in that Castle Mark dungeon, I was like, oh, okay, here's one red giant. Here's two. Here's like a bunch of flan and some red giants.
Yeah.
Now here's 3 red giants and some Medusa heads.
And a Medusa, yeah. It's like, that was a tough fight.
Yeah, after a while you saw me, like, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, they almost went down there.
But it's one of those things, like,
Now, okay, in your opinion,
Mm-hmm.
because you were talking about this, is Final Fantasy 15 too easy?
I think so. It's a Final Fantasy for fans and first-timers alike.
Yeah, so how would you have fixed the Final Fantasy 15 combat system? Because I think the thing that fucks it is that you have that damaged mode when your HP hits 0.
Yeah, and you basically, you can get hit in that, and then that's what causes you to die.
Yeah.
Basically, I would make the Mega Elixirs and the High Elixirs really expensive.
Yeah.
Because, like, you saw, like, I would just, let's buy 30 High Elixirs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So let's make it impossible to die. And that's the part where
I think
they take the fear out of you. You have no fear going in any fights.
I think once your HP hits 0, that's when you should die.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to use a Phoenix Down, not a healing potion.
Right.
That's when you have to use a Phoenix
But even
Down.
like the Phoenix Downs, like, you could use endless Phoenix, as long as you have the money for them. Like,
I'm trying to
and the thing is, like, you can Phoenix Down yourself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's probably what it is that you can cast on yourself.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is. Because I was trying to think of what differentiates that from other Final Fantasies. Whereas, because, like, other Final Fantasies are kind of the same way. Like, you can cast endless amounts of healing potions and whatnot.
Well, because remember, in 13, I think if lightning dies, you're done. If lightning gets KO'd, you're done.
Yeah. That's
another way to get around it.
For my knowledge, the only Final Fantasy game that does that.
Yeah.
Because I know in 7, 8, and 9 at least.
Yeah, your
Cloud
main
Squall.
they can die and you can just revive.
Yeah.
Them. But yeah, I just think, like, they take a lot of the fear out of any, like, some of the, like, that's why usually I encounter 2 Maldiburls and, like, I'm level 60. I'm like, let's go. Where before, like, like, I'll avoid those motherfuckers like the plague.
Yeah, because you're gonna get one-shotted.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things, like, they take the fear out of you. So I just think that's easy. And then if you put it on easy mode, which I don't understand why you would do that, Carbuncle just revives you.
I didn't know I had it on easy mode. I must have done that for something.
I don't know what. I don't think you did because that Carbuncle signal only popped up during the Adamantoids fight. I just don't think it'll let you do it during the Adamantoids fight. I think that's what it is. I think you're good. There's no reason for that game to ever be on easy. If you put Final Fantasy 15 on easy, we need to talk.
I mean, if someone just wants to run through the story.
You don't... did you find any of those bosses threatening?
Not really. I mean, I didn't. You fought a lot of them.
Yeah, and I just...
So.
Yeah.
Fans and first-timers, though.
And it's one... I get it, like... It's an enjoyable game. Like, overall, I love the experience. But, like, again, certain gripes. And my next question, so we can put a little bow on this. Where do you rank Final Fantasy 15 for you? Like, where does it find? Where does
as
it
far
rank?
as the Final Fantasy games go?
Yes.
Can I see your pen and paper real quick? So let me just jot down the Final Fantasy games that I've played here. So I've played, and I've dabbled in almost all of them.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going from the top. I've played 4.
That's a good one.
6,
I
7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So I've played about half of them.
Yeah.
In my opinion, 7 ranks solidly at the top.
Okay.
With 9 right below it, and maybe 9 and 4.
I'm glad you're coming around on 9.
I'm gonna put a little arrow here because I think 9 and 4 are tied in quality.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 7, 9, and I forgot to put 4 up here. 4, and then I think 6 comes after that, and well, I haven't. Then 10.
Okay.
And then I think. See, do I think 13 is better than 14? Are we counting the whole 13 trilogy or just base 13?
I mean, I'll let you count the 13 trilogy. It's one story.
Okay, and then in that case, I'm going to put 13 above 14.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 10 then, and then. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant 15. 13 above 15, and then 14, and then 12. So right there at the bottom.
Okay.
Because I think that all of these games are the ones I've played.
Mm-hmm.
All of these games have really high quality stories, and especially 7, 9, 4, and 6. These top ones here.
Mm-hmm.
These are in a league of their own. I think, like these games are the games that define. If I'd ask what defines a Final Fantasy game, I would tell them these 4 games.
Okay.
With 10 starting down that downward trajectory, right?
Yeah.
From here, 10, and then it just gets lower and lower. Whereas I think 12 is the biggest departure from Final Fantasy.
Okay.
And 14 being a pretty large departure, but it still has those classic elements.
Yeah.
12 does not feel like a Final Fantasy game, whereas 14 feels like an action Final Fantasy game.
Okay.
Okay? I'm sorry, I keep getting 14 and 15 mixed up.
Yeah.
I meant 15.
15, yeah.
Yeah. 14, of course, is a giant...
Yeah, the MMO.
A giant departure. So, right here at the bottom, I have 15, 14, 12. 14, I ranked above 12 based on its quality. Because 14 is a great MMO.
Yeah.
I put 15 above 14. So, right here's the list we have then. So it goes 7, 9, 4, 6, 10, 13, 15, 14, and 12. Out of the ones I've played. Now, I haven't played the first few. 1, 2, 3, and 5 I haven't played.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I'm ranking that.
Let me see this list. Let me get a set of eyes on that. Okay. Yeah. So of these ones, of these, how many have you beaten? Have you beaten 7, 9, 4, 6?
I've beaten not many. So let me see here real quick. I've beaten 7. I pretty much went 100% at 7. I beat 13. I beat 10. I beat 13. I beat 15. I beat 14. I got far in 12.
Okay. All right.
I've put a decent chunk of time in all of them. Like I dabbled in Final Fantasy 2 and Final Fantasy 5, but I didn't put them on that list because I dabbled in them enough that I was like, I'm out.
Okay.
I didn't put it more than a couple hours in them.
So you can me looking at this list. I really haven't played 7 that much. Like I played, I think, to the end of this 1 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
9 I absolutely love. 4 I need to get further into 4. I like 4. Just
4 is
didn't beat
great.
it. 6 same thing. I got to the World of Ruin in 6 and kind of just
4 is great, especially the DS port of 4.
yeah. I heard that's the one to get.
Yeah.
And then 10 I've beaten basically I'll just say the ones I've beaten. I've beaten 9, 8, 10, 12, and 15.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like it's as much as I love Final Fantasy 15, I'd struggle to see it crack the top 5 for me.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things like I adore it.
Yeah.
But like I think I actually like Type 0 more than I like 15.
I wasn't counting the spin-off games.
But it's that's what I'm saying. Like if I had to rank anything, because I know you're a tactics guy.
Yeah. If I had put tactics in there, it'd be in the top 5.
So it's one of those things like it's just interesting to see kind of with 15, and I think where my appreciation for 15 comes in, kind of where we'll wrap on that. I'm just glad it's here. Like it's one of those things. Like I guess I'm still like awestruck when I was like, I look at Noctis. I'm like, I never thought you were gonna be here, buddy. I didn't think you were gonna make it, pal. Because we've known Noctis for
a long time.
Yeah, we've known Noctis a while.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things like I didn't think we're ever gonna, you know.
That's how I'm gonna feel with Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
When that comes out, I'll be gone for a week.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The doors are gonna be locked. I'm gonna bring in a whole bunch of food and snacks, and probably one of those children's toilets that you can just slide around.
Okay.
And then you know, that's how it's gonna be.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like I think that's completely acceptable. Like if we're still living together when that game ever comes out, and you do that, I'll be like, you know what? Like, where's Seth? Leave him.
He's fine. You know what? He's better than fine.
He's gone on to a different plane of existence. See me at the last thing I'll say is like I really want to play 5. I really want like for my PlayStation 1 copy's all fucked up. It like won't read correctly.
Oh, okay.
So I think what I'm gonna do is get an emulator, get a properly fan translated port of it, and just get in there.
Yeah, because isn't the fan translation of 5 all fucked up? Or
all of them. They say the translation for the Square Enix translation for 4 is all screwed up. And then
the official translation for 7, I don't know if you know this,
is messed up too.
It dramatically changes the game.
Yeah,
because the translation in Japanese is supposed to indicate that Eris had no romantic feelings towards Cloud.
But it gets like misinterpreted.
It gets misinterpreted by the official translation, and Cloud and Tifa have like a very romantic relationship. Yeah. And that is completely lost on American audiences.
See, I wonder if there's a fan patch you can get and just that fixes it.
I don't know if you can get fan patches for PS1 games.
I don't know. That's one of the things. Those of you who do watch the videos and on the podcast, let us know. Hit us in the comment section. Correct us.
We're going deep.
So, but I'm glad to see you slogging away for that platinum. I'm excited for you to get it. So you can join the team iPlatinum Final Fantasy.
I should say that I'll have the platinum
probably by Wednesday.
Probably by Thursday. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of side quests I gotta do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of side quests.
Yeah, but they're fun.
I mean, I gotta work these next 2 days, and they're gonna be hard fucking days. Yeah. So.
Okay. But I'm glad to see you making progress, buddy.
Yeah.
So, we got about 10 minutes before we go to break, so we'll get a little bit into this next discussion, because usually we don't do news too much on our show. We are a show we like to talk about whatever the fuck we want.
Right.
But this struck me as interesting, where BlizzCon just happened, over the weekend? Mm-hmm. And they announced the new Diablo game is a mobile game. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it's called. I didn't really look too far into it.
Diablo Immortal.
But, just the reaction. My roommate's a big Blizzard fan, and he was going to buy I remember after BlizzCon, we were going to go to GameStop, and he was going to buy a Switch, the Diablo bundle. Mm-hmm. Because he wanted to get Diablo for the Switch and, get in there. After BlizzCon, he was out.
Yeah.
He was out. He was like, nope, they're not getting a dime of my money. He, uninstalled Overwatch. He was done. I'm like, because of us, we're Square Enix fans.
Yeah.
And Square Enix has wronged us.
Oh, yeah.
They've wronged us many a time. But you and I have never been, we're done.
Yeah. I have spoken out against Square Enix very often, especially with the older Final Fantasy days, with 12 and 13 and 11 and whatnot. This comes back to a fundamental thing, and it is that in 2008, Blizzard merged with Activision.
Ooh, yeah.
And it was more of a silent merge, a lot of the fans didn't know. But Blizzard fans have been so loyal to Blizzard.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about people that have played World of Warcraft for
years.
12 years or something like that. I mean, I don't remember when it came
out. Is that a 20-year-old game now?
World of Warcraft came out in 2006.
Did it really? I feel like World of Warcraft has been around forever.
Yeah, World of Warcraft came out in 2006.
Or am I thinking of Warcraft?
You're thinking of Warcraft.
Okay.
World of Warcraft, when it came out, and of course, World of Warcraft is, without a doubt, the MMO.
Yeah.
There's
it's
other
the
MMOs.
It's the granddaddy of them all.
World of Warcraft has been the MMO since the beginning.
Yeah.
And it pretty much created the MMO genre.
Yeah.
Now, EverQuest was before that, and Ultima was before that, but they didn't fucking matter. When you look through the lens of history, EverQuest and Ultima just don't fucking matter.
Shout out to Star Wars Galaxy fans.
Shout out to Star Wars Galaxy. Because when World of Warcraft came, the MMO genre blossomed. It blew up and it blossomed. And we're talking, this is halfway through Blizzard's life. I'm just starting here because people have stuck with World of Warcraft
for fucking years.
For 12 years. These people are hardcore Blizzard fans. And this is just the World of Warcraft side. A lot of people are fans of World of Warcraft, StarCraft, and Diablo. Like, they're just
people
all in there.
fucking love Diablo. And like I honestly never I've never played Diablo, so I can't sit there and be like, "Oh, fuck Diablo," and I don't get why. But like, it's like a dungeon crawler, right? It's like it's almost like playing on Baldur's Gate, right?
But what I was saying here was, and I was trying to just make a point that in 2008 they started making really bad moves, where they started, and I can speak to this personally because I'm a huge Warcraft guy, and they started making these really shitty expansions, and I pieced out of World of Warcraft. Yeah. But I always had like this special like.
I always remember you dabbling back in, though.
Yeah, I always jumped back in a little bit, and when Legion came out, I jumped in pretty hardcore there for a while. And I always had this like special place in my heart for World of Warcraft. So I can sympathize with the people that are Diablo fans or StarCraft fans. And you remember the last StarCraft game we got was StarCraft 2.
Yeah, people still fucking love
StarCraft.
Whatever happened to StarCraft Ghost? Canceled?
Yeah, it was canceled a long time ago. That's fucking vaporware. And then... So you're a Diablo fan, you're a StarCraft fan, you're a Warcraft fan, then Overwatch comes out. And you just get left in the fucking
But people fucking love Overwatch, though.
People love Overwatch, but they are not those people.
Okay.
You know, they're not the Diablo people. I mean, I'm sure there's overlap somewhere. You know, I'm sure there's some people listening to that and be like, well, I fucking love all these games. Well,
okay,
I'm talking about the 20-year-old Blizzard fans.
Oh.
You know,
the new Blizzard fans.
The guys that have stuck with... No.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. Yeah,
the guys that have stuck with Blizzard
OG
for 20
Blizzard
years
fan,
and that have loved these series. Like, people still play like Diablo 1 and Diablo 2, and they fucking love those games. Diablo 3 came out, and it was in 2012, and it was a dud at first.
Oh, really?
Like
I thought people loved Diablo 3.
People loved Diablo 3 when it was patched, and they fixed a whole bunch of stuff. But when Diablo 3 first came out, people did not like it. So, for Diablo 3 to be the last thing to come out, and then you get a couple expansions, and you've waited since 2012 for Diablo, and then finally they start stirring the pot for talks, right? You remember Diablo 3 as being maybe not that great.
Yeah.
You had your fun times with it, but it wasn't Diablo 2 or Diablo 1. They start stirring the pot of like these rumors for Diablo, and you go to BlizzCon, you buy a fucking ticket to go to BlizzCon to see their new announcements, and they announce fucking Diablo Immortal. I can see why people are mad. Like, I get it, man.
Yeah.
They're fucking... They were... It was so dumb of Blizzard to do this, because, like... It's the typical business people that are detached from their audience separation there.
But I'm just like, when I heard the tone of some of the fans, like we were watching some of the fan reaction videos where like the guy asked like if it was a joke, like, and like I could hear it in his voice. He wasn't kidding. He wasn't trying to be a dick. He's like is this like a joke?
Yeah.
And like
you gotta remember, and here in America, we fucking hate the mobile market.
Yeah, we're not mobile. We don't do mobile.
No, we don't.
But it's one of those things. What the fuck? It's one of these things like I could hear the genuine like, almost like, why are you doing this to me?
Yeah, exactly.
And then like I saw the photos on Reddit of like the line for Diablo, nobody there.
Yeah.
Like nobody, like that's crazy. You mean to tell me like nobody even tried it?
Yeah.
Nobody even went like.
Nobody wants anything to do with it.
Nobody was bold enough to cross the picket line just to check out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Because usually I'm one of those people like if something on something, all right, let me at least see what's in here.
Yeah.
But like, there's not even a fucking soul there.
The Diablo trailer they posted, the Immortal trailer they posted, got like 512,000 dislikes.
Yeah.
To like 8,000 upvotes.
Like, did it beat the most downvoted comment like from EA or no?
I don't know. That was fucking hilarious. But I forgot all about that. But they took down the video and re-uploaded it, thinking that it was like a temporary thing that people would just stop. They didn't, dude. People are like they keep taking the video down
and re-uploading
it to like reset the fucking like and dislike count. And then like they've been removing comments from the people like just being like fuck you Blizzard and whatnot. They've been removing all these comments and
oh wow,
it's a shit show, man.
Yeah.
And what they were trying to do was a little more devious. They were trying to capture the fucking Chinese, Japanese mobile market, and it's just like, I get that from a business standpoint, but that's not how you could run a successful business, because once you jade people,
that's it. That could be the death knell.
Yeah, they move on.
So with that being said, we're going to head into our next break because I think there's a big discussion to be had about what the fallout is of that. So we're gonna head to a quick break. We'll see you on the other side. Hey guys, welcome back. Coming off a break. Before we broke to go sit down and have yet another discussion for some reason, we were talking about Blizzard and the negative reaction and all the fallout of that. And like I'd established that like I've never seen so much just hate and vitriol, and like I was like, and you were talking about the video being re-uploaded and disliked, and I feel like that's something that's going to keep happening because the internet is one where once you cross the internet is unforgiving.
There's another facet of this I want to talk about.
Okay, get it all out.
And it is that game journalists are now attacking fans, saying super negative stuff about the fans that are angry about it.
Yeah,
and I get it. You're right. The fans are entitled, but they're also hurt. Like these aren't people that are like really angry about something. They're hurt. They're disappointed.
Yes.
You know? And also, I just don't understand why game journalists make it a point to attack their fucking audience that reads their stuff.
I just think a lot of them have a lot of these guys like really do a good job of, I guess, if you follow them on Twitter, maybe you see like the negative aspects of it where like I think now in a more connected world, it's so easy to have access to them and them to you. So it's one of those things like maybe they
just all seem like these big-headed, fucking arrogant assholes.
Well, a lot of them grow up that way. A lot of them grew up as keyboard warriors. A lot of them, grew up where, you just say one thing and, they're not. I guess they're not accountable for their actions on Twitter. And I guess whatever, free speech and all that. But like you do represent a company. So like, say a guy from who's usually like say for example someone from Kotaku is like attacking a fan and saying all this negative stuff about him. Like, at what point does Kotaku be like, hey, dude, could you not do this?
Yeah. I mean, Marvel just cut a writer because he was hacking.
James Gunn, right?
No, that was.
Okay.
I mean, he was like he was a director. There was like a comic writer that was just being a huge dick.
He
wrote for Star Wars, and people spun it that he got fired because he put a gay character in Star Wars.
No, I don't think they'd ever fire
the reason,
somebody for
and
that.
I got an argument with Elijah over that.
Yeah, I saw
online.
that.
He was just being a huge asshole to people that were criticizing him, and not even for like the gay thing. He was just being a huge dick. And you know what, dude? Adam Sessler is the same fucking way.
Yeah.
I used to follow Adam Sessler on Twitter, and just for fun, I dropped in real quick to his Twitter feed the other day. Dude's a fucking madman. He's a huge asshole.
Really?
And it's like one of those things like don't meet your heroes. But I used to fucking love Adam Sandler.
I 100% think that's correct.
Adam Sessler.
Yeah, sadly. Yeah.
I used to love Adam Sandler too, but that's besides the point. Mm-hmm. Adam Sessler was the fucking man.
Right.
And the fucking world forgot about him, and now he's just like this huge fucking prick.
Right. And like here's the thing what I don't want to happen, because sometimes like I was telling you the other day, before we get back into the Blizzard stuff, about what I was noticing about Colin and that other guy he's having that
Bob.
beef with. We're not gonna get into all that, but like that Bob guy, he's like really rude to some of his fans, and like and one of these times like, and I'd never want this to happen. But like I feel like it's going to. Like one of these times, like he's gonna say something that's gonna get him slapped.
Yeah.
And like,
dude, I want to slap him. We can sue me. Yeah, fucking sue me, buddy.
Right, but it's like one of these things. Like, like I'm not gonna disagree with you, but it's one of these things. Like but like, and I guarantee you that event happening is gonna be like the worst thing ever. Like, oh, people are assaulting people now. Where like,
I mean,
I'm like, dude, you listen. Like, if you look at like what he says to people, like, look, dude, like you insult people's character. You make fun of like what they do for a living. Like, and it's one of these things. Like, dude, like. And I guess. And
by the way, we're not just talking about Colin. We're talking about.
No, we're on this Bob Servo guy, not Colin.
The Bob Servo guy, to the people that like.
Yeah, respond to him.
Respond to him on Twitter.
And part of it is on Colin, where like I think it frustrates me. This guy was just talking shit about me all the time, but like this guy's like. To me, this guy's like a pissant to you. So like, I just don't know why you bother with it. Because what happens is Colin will say something, then all the Colin loyalists will go in, and then it just starts all that shit.
Yeah. So
it's one of these things like. And I really don't. I really fear for this. Like, if I was security at some of these conventions, like I'd be like, dude, like, and I'm surprised this hasn't happened more often. Like, do you guys have to be careful about what you're saying to people because, like, eventually it's gonna happen where, you get that one fan like, oh, remember that shit you said to me on Twitter, and jumps over the fucking table at him. Now we got to scrap.
Well, I mean, it's not gonna be much of a scrap. You seen that dude?
He's not very big.
He's like, listen, you're from California. You're in a place where people don't do that, right?
Unless you're from Stockton, bitch.
If I was in Pennsylvania, right, and I was doing this to somebody in Pennsylvania or like around here, we would 100% be scrapping.
Yeah.
That would have ended 4 years ago.
Yeah.
If me and this dude got in a beef on Twitter, I'd be like, let's fucking scrap, dude. And it just kept happening. Like, we'll be done with it. Kick your ass and we're done with it.
It's one of these things, like, I worry about that with some of these people who, like, you know, yeah, you can say all these things on Twitter, and then, like, I just feel like you have to understand that, like, some of these things you say to people, like, there are repercussions for that. We live in a world where, you know, you could pull up my Twitter feed from when I was probably a teenager and whatever dumb shit I say, and, like, say if I did something to somebody and, like, years down the road, like, oh, hey, remember that shit you said to me on Twitter, and something could happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people take what you say on Twitter as you saying it.
That's how it should be, though. Yeah. You know? Like,
there's no accountability for it, and it just, like, it kind of scares me. Like, I'm a little shocked that, like, something bad hasn't happened.
Yeah. Because Twitter is such a fucking cesspool.
Oh, it's a complete cesspool.
It's a cesspool. And these game journalists just think they're so much better. And that's what just fucking gets under my skin. It's that the game journalists, and it's not like there's a few of them. It's like a ton of them.
It's almost just they have their political agenda they spin. I don't like it.
It's not even the political agenda, and I hate that too.
That I don't like.
But it's the fucking, like,
just the arrogance.
The arrogance that they feel like they're like these ministers talking to these huge crowds that like they need to spread their word.
Right.
It's like, dude, you report the news. Don't get ahead of yourselves. You're no Miyamoto. You're no Kojima. Right. You know, something like that. Like. Fuck off.
You're useful, but you're not necessary.
Tell me the new games that are releasing this week, and learn your fucking place. You know, I mean, we should have a show called the hot takes, where we just call out fucking these Twitter assholes.
We can. Asshole.
Because I got a lot to say about fucking Adam Sessler and Marty Sleva and
he's gone on Media Black. I haven't seen him. Marty
Sleva got fired from IGN.
Right, for something really weird.
No one knows. And fucking Danny O'Dwyer. Danny O'Dwyer, we have some words.
Yeah, so it's one of those things, like, not that I want to spend too much time on it. Maybe you'll see a new show based off of it. Maybe. Stay tuned. But it's one of these things, like, it just frustrates me. But then, like, part of it also is you see the fans. Like, I've seen a lot of fans on Twitter just sending just fucking hate. Like,
okay, so, like, I guess the way I fall on this whole thing is that I met Greg and Colin. I've had at-length conversations with them. I've had numerous emails with them, countless emails with these guys. Right. I know these guys at a level I feel like...
You've podcasted with them.
I know these guys at a level I feel like most people don't. Mm-hmm. And I might be wrong about that, but, like, just, you know, I know them a little more than, like, just the average listener, right? They're both great dudes. Yes. Like, they're both super, super, super cool dudes.
Right.
So, like, yeah, man, I feel bad for Colin when... he posts anything, and people just gets hate for no reason. And I mean, if you don't like him because you think he's arrogant and whatnot, that's a different story. It's another thing to just be like, even if he posts something positive,
someone will be like,
always someone there.
But usually it's politically driven. Like, there's people calling them like a racist. I'm like, do you know him personally? Like, you don't fucking sit there and say like he's a racist. Like, you don't say that about people. Like, you don't. Because if you can't claim that, like, you can't even say that about our own president. You could point to whatever evidence shows. Oh, he might, until you see confirmed racist. Yeah. You can't say shit like that. You just can't, and people don't understand that.
There's no accountability.
Right. There's zero accountability.
And you know what, like, if you called me some of that stuff to my face, like we said, we'd be fucking. Yeah. Getting at each other.
Because that's usually what happens. Like, you insult someone, they're going to insult you back. And then, you know, it just... I just think it's very toxic. It's not good. And you see it so much where... I really don't think it's smart for business. Like, say if we were to engage on Twitter with a fan or whatever it is, and we don't agree on something, okay, am I ever going to attack your personal character or anything like that? No. Yeah. But, like, if I don't agree with you, I just don't fucking agree with you, nor am I going to change how I feel for you.
I got in an argument one time with one of my friends on Twitter. And they started calling me like a racist and a bigot and whatnot.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was like, hey, listen, dude, never had a problem with you. Yeah. Sorry you feel that way. I'm not going to, like, if I don't, like, seriously dislike you as a person, I'm not going to go after your character. I'm not that disingenuous. I'm not going to let my emotions get so strung up in something that I'm going to attack your character, ruin a friendship.
Right, and it's one of these things, like, and tying it back into, like, with Blizzard and stuff like that, like, I feel bad for some of the people who have obviously been working on this game, put hard hours into it. Like, I feel bad for them because imagine, like, you worked on something and you got hired to do this, you're really proud of what you did, and the fan base just meets it with fucking hate. Yeah. And, like, they say shit about you, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you motherfuckers and all this other stuff. Like, I feel bad for them in that aspect. But, like, but then, like, some of the tone-deaf stuff Blizzard was saying, there's some, like...
Don't you guys all have phones?
I'm
yeah,
like,
asshole, but we don't want to play it on our phones.
Right, and I was like, and like, I just don't think they were ready for what was coming. Like, you even hear people booing at the booing.
It's like unanimous hate. It's like unanimous. And the thing is that
I've never seen that before. I've literally never seen a reaction where, like, even Nintendo's put out some cringeworthy shit. Like, the Wii music, you didn't hear booing.
Yeah.
People were like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But you didn't hear booing.
Well, you got to remember something, too, is that at E3, that's all press in those seats. So, like, you're not going to hear a lot of cheers or boos. Unless something happens, like the Final Fantasy VII Remake, where people are crying in their seats. I was crying, basically, standing up. But then you get BlizzCon,
mm-hmm.
which is a fan convention.
Yes.
So these are fans sitting in these seats, not journalists. These are the people that are buying your games.
So the people directly buying your product. But
Yep.
still, I've never even seen that. Like, I've never seen that at QuakeCon. I've never seen that at... Like, it just blows my mind. Like, I've never even seen that at Comic-Con, where, like, you know, a movie that maybe somebody didn't like the cast, and you never see somebody come out and met by boos. Like, I was like, what the fuck?
Like I said, Blizzard fans are hardcore fans that have been just fucked over and over and over again. And it sucks, man. I feel their pain. I really do, because, like, me and you, like I said, we're both jaded Square fans. We've been there. We've gotten fucked over and over and over again, especially in the Final Fantasy series.
Yeah.
Holy shit. You might as well not even fuck us anymore.
Right.
Because it's not going to be worth your time. You know, like, we're loose.
Right. It's just crazy to me. And I want to have this discussion because, like, Bethesda it's nowhere near the same level, but, like, Fallout 76, like, you see the reaction, it's like, whoa, no.
But Bethesda did the right thing. Now, this is what Blizzard should have done. They should have seen Bethesda's press conference and copied that. Bethesda had the Elder Scrolls Blades announced and Fallout 76 announced, right?
Yeah.
But they also announced, I'm not saying I agree with it, but they also announced the Elder Scrolls 6, and they announced that Starfleet or whatever it's called.
Starfield. Probably because they knew that would happen.
Exactly. They knew that that's not what people wanted. So the smart thing for Blizzard would have been, instead of making Diablo Immortal, would have been to be like, we're making Diablo 4. Here it is. It's for PC, and it's also on Android. That's the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do that?
I don't know.
That just it blows my mind. I don't get it.
But it's weird because, like, even when... See, maybe I'm just a weird fan. I don't know. Because, like, I came to the realization that, like, I'm, like, a reformed Bethesda fan.
Yeah.
Where in my head I thought I didn't like Bethesda games, and I'm like, wait, I like Dishonored and I like Fallout. Like, hang on, maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way.
See, I think I'm the opposite.
Let's explain.
I used to love Bethesda games, and now I, like, don't like them at all.
Well, I think I'm a reformed where, like, I used to, like... You know, I used to kind of not think their games are good, but I'm like, well, I've played a fair amount of their games. Maybe I do think their games are good. But, like,
yeah.
Because here's the thing, like, when I saw the announcement for Elder Scrolls Blades, part of me wants to try it. I don't know why.
And that's your own prerogative. Like, that's totally fine.
And it's one of those things, like, but I noticed there's a lot of people like, fuck this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, they didn't say Elder Scrolls, you know, that was going to be the only Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah.
But they're like, but it's weird because, like, I feel like so many of these companies do this where, like, the mobile market is so enticing to them.
Yeah.
And it's one of these things like the most recent Star Ocean game came out on mobile. It's like an update to Integrity and Faithlessness, but which, by the way, is the fucking stones on them. That took balls. But then, like, the most recent SMT game, Liberation, whatever it is a mobile game. It's like Pokemon Go with SMT, and it's like fully narrated, got a story and everything. And it's like, why? You even see Square Enix do it, where they put Kingdom Hearts Key out, Dissidia. I'm like, why? Why do we keep?
It's just a gold mine, dude. People get in there.
But they're all free to play. Like, where does the
transactions?
Is that where all the money comes? It's got to be.
Yep.
Because, like,
so basically the way it is they look for what they're called whales.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
There's 100 people that don't pay a cent for the game. There's that one person, maybe in 100, maybe in 10, who gets addicted to it. Doesn't want to wait for the time gates or whatever annoying shit you put in your game. They pay for it. They put money into it, and then they keep putting money into it. They're like, $10 here, $10 there, no big deal.
Yeah,
that's how they make their money.
But see, now what's your opinion on the mobile game space? Because, like,
it's trash.
I agree with, but it, like, I've noticed certain games wrote me. I'm like, you saw how deep into Dissidia I was, but, like,
Dissidia is an example of a mobile game, I think, that was made with love in mind and not profits.
Okay.
Because with Dissidia, I noticed that it wasn't necessarily pushing you to get microtransactions. No. It seemed like they made this idea with good intentions, and I firmly believe that. Now, there's the complete opposite in most mobile games that you get that you don't pay for, which is like, okay, you've completed this level, like you gotta wait 16 hours where you can buy 10 gemstones or whatever it is. I think that mobile games can be fun. And I've played, a decent amount of hours in emulators and whatnot when they are not free to play mobile games.
Okay. See, me, like, with Opera Omnia, I feel like I was telling you the other day, like, I feel like I owe Square money at this point. Like, I've played so much of that game and haven't put a dime into it.
Yeah.
And nor have I felt pressure to put a dime into it. Because even, like, with the rare drops, I just use my tickets that I get through playing, and we're fine.
Yeah.
But, like, me, I have no problem if I like a mobile game enough, where, like, Pokemon Go, I think I spent maybe, over the lifetime when I was playing it, maybe $30. Buying lore and stuff but I was actively playing the game, and I feel like if I'm enjoying the game this much, I feel like me as the consumer, okay, you've earned my money.
Yeah.
Or with what was the other game I played? With SMT Liberation, I think I paid like $5 or whatever for something. And see, I don't mind microtransactions when I feel like if I'm enjoying your product enough, okay, I'll do that. Like I'm okay with that. But I just feel like the space is so oversaturated that I just don't know, like, how you go in there and...
Well, it's sort of like Colin used to say. It's a race to the bottom with mobile games. Nobody wants to pay for anything. And, like, everybody wants to hunt for that whale. But I feel like unless you have a really recognizable property, like Final Fantasy or Pokemon...
Or Elder Scrolls. I wonder how that'll do.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll do fine.
Because it's going to mobile. It's going to... I'm actually really excited to see it on Switch. I think that's actually really smart.
But you know what? Make it $20. Make you not have to pay for microtransactions.
Maybe.
That's how I feel about that. And, I feel the same way. I think I bought Final Fantasy IV and Chrono Trigger and whatnot. A lot of the Square phone games I bought.
I heard a lot of those ports are like bastardized.
Yeah, they're fine. You get the experience. If you're looking for a full Final Fantasy IV experience and you're buying on the phone, I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life. Like, let's maybe take a step back.
Right.
I wasn't expecting like this blown away, like super immersive thing. It's like, you buy it because you want a bastardized experience, right. I guess.
Other things that, like, there's been other mobile games I've gotten into. Like, I was really into Animal Crossing for a little bit. Fire Emblem I liked. The only thing I didn't like with those, and same with Super Mario Run, they wouldn't let you run via Wi-Fi. A little stupid.
That's really annoying.
That's really dumb. Yeah. Really fucking dumb. And same with Opera Omnia, it's always downloading something. That's also annoying. But
that did annoy me. When I played that a little bit, I think that's what really annoyed me the most, was that it was constantly downloading something.
Right. And so, I mean, like, I don't hate mobile games, but I just think, like, to me, they have to, I guess, I have to not feel pressured to fucking buy something all the time. Like, if you sit there and hit me with microtransactions, like, oh, this, and, I'm just going to stop playing it. So it's one of these things, like, because I know people who all they do is play MMOs on their phone, like, so maybe, I don't know if we're in the minority where, like, you even see it in,
we're definitely not in the maybe like, if you look at the numbers, we're in the minority, but when it comes to actual, like, gamers, I think, we're not. I think we see this with the Diablo Immortal, where, like, people, especially in the United States, and, like, I think Europe, too, we just don't want it. And they've been pushing the mobile market so hard for so long. And if you remember, I know a lot of old game journalists talk about this. 10 years ago, they were talking about how mobile games were going to take over, and it was going to be the next big thing. And
we've had nothing but pushback.
And and the fans just don't want it, man. They don't want it.
Yeah, because even with the mobile market, like, I thought, like, when the mobile market started getting big, I thought, like, that was the death knell for handheld games.
Yeah.
And no,
it's not. People just don't fucking want that for whatever reason, and I don't know why. People just fucking hate whatever you're playing on your phone. And I think it's just because of the shitty fucking ecosystem inside the mobile market. I think that has jaded people, and for the most part, people like me are just like, nah. Mobile, fuck it.
Yeah, because the only mobile thing that's nice, like, say if you're taking a shit or you're somewhere where you don't have access to a game, you're just like, okay, I gotta fucking kill 15 minutes. Let me jump in here.
But even then, like, I'm gonna read Reddit or browse through my Facebook feed or something.
But it's an option. It's not something I always feel obligated. Where, like, this with Opera Omnia, usually the time I put in the most in the Opera Omnia is when I'm laying in bed about to fall asleep or something like that, or like when I wake up in the morning. And I got, I've woken up early before work or something. I got like a half hour to kill before I even have to get out of bed.
Yeah.
I'll sit there and jump in and fuck around. It's one of those things, like, it's at my leisure, which I like. So it's one of those things, like, it's nice just to be able to click the app and have it on there. But I just don't think I don't know. I really hate when you see these big franchises that you love.
Yeah.
Like this is happening to Phantasy Star. It's happening to Star Ocean. It happened to Breath of Fire. Like all these RPGs that you and I grew up with were like mobile game.
They'll learn. they will learn. You put $2 million developing this mobile game and no one wants it. You'll learn.
But there are some low key decent mobile games. Like I think Mobius Final Fantasy, pretty decent mobile game.
I played a little bit of it.
A little choppy, but maybe it's because I'm not running a high end phone. But
yeah. Was Mobius the pixel art one?
No, you're thinking of Brave Exvius.
Brave Exvius was good.
Yeah, but Mobius you should check out. It's not bad.
What's that?
It's basically like an action RPG
Oh.
on It's Mobius Final Fantasy. Check it out on like your Kindle Fire. I feel like tablets are really the best for mobile games. I don't like playing mobile games on like my actual handset.
I'll tell you what is good though. You get an emulator on your phone.
I got the SNES 9X.
I love the Game Boy emulator. I played through the fuck out of Pokemon Fire Red.
I just feel like my thing with the Game Boy emulator, the emulator on the phone, like when I was playing SMT Old Testament, like I just wanted a fucking controller in my hand.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you can get a controller for your phone.
Okay. Because I have a couple ROM hacks on here. I actually downloaded a bunch of ROM hacks I've been looking to play.
Yeah.
This is like some straight weeb shit here, so bear with me. But like I downloaded, there's an English translation for Far East of Eden 0, which is supposed to be like
Okay.
It's supposed to be it's supposed to be like one of Super Nintendo's best games.
Wow.
And it came on Super Famicom. It's an RPG. It uses the same chipset as Super Mario World 2. Like there was an advanced chipset that we never really got.
Super Mario World 2 is like very like different looking.
Yeah. So I used that same chipset. I downloaded the English patch for SMT if. So like there's certain things I've been trying to get through, like East 4 Mask of the Sun on SNES, which is different from Turbo East 4. Like so it's one of these things, like I've been dabbling in these things where I think eventually I'm just gonna buy repro cards and play them on my actual SNES.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. First year I went to PAX. We were waiting on our queue line, which me and you never saw.
Oh yeah, you were telling me you got this
They were just giving out the Mocha controllers. And the
Yeah.
Mochas were awesome because it was this little controller that you flipped up, and it had an extendable part in the top. You put your phone in there, it checked through Bluetooth, and you just played. It had full emulator support and whatnot, and it was a blast. I loved it.
I feel like that's where the Shield, NVIDIA Shield, probably would have.
But nonetheless, again, mobile market pushed back.
Yeah,
failed.
Nope, don't want it.
Yeah. I saw them making these phones now. They'll click switches. I went to the Verizon store and saw it, and I'm like, wow, that's not going to catch on.
Nope.
People don't want it.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's just
also it's the VR systems, right? Samsung and all these VR systems came out for phones. Guess what?
I feel like Google Cardboard killed that. Literally killed the VR. The mobile VR got killed.
Google Cardboard's like, we can do this for like basically free. So
yeah, because I remember when I switched to Cricket, like my little shitty Cricket. My first Cricket phone came with a VR headset.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
I'm like, the screen's just attached to my face.
Yeah, basically.
Like I feel like you could just recreate VR. You take it from. Boop.
Yeah, basically. So a little divider there.
So on the next time for T-ball, I want you to prepare. So you're gonna have a little bit of homework. Okay. Next time for T-ball, we're gonna go through some of our all-time favorite games.
On T-ball or Alpha Nerds?
Not T-ball. I meant Alpha Nerds. Excuse me, not T-ball.
All-time favorite games. Okay.
All-time favorite games. We're gonna rank them. I'm assuming there's probably gonna be a fair amount of RPGs, but it's one of these things. I feel like we need to have this discussion. Like, what are the games, like if you had, we'll say 10 games that you had to burn the rest of every game you own, these 10 fucking games, and that's it.
They would stay. Okay, I can do that. That's easy.
And then we will update the fraud watch list because are we adding Blizzard? Is Blizzard on there? Fraud watch list, Blizzard?
Yeah, they're on the watch list.
Okay.
They're on the ban list, but they're on the watch list. Although I feel like if they did get banned, it wouldn't affect either one of us. So they could get banned relatively quickly.
Right. Yeah. So Blizzard, you're not on the watch list. We got eyes on you. Where are we at with Bethesda?
Bethesda's fine. They haven't really jaded anybody. They haven't fucked anybody over. So.
Not yet. So, been a great show. This has been Alpha Nerds. Please like us on Facebook at 2 Beers and a Whiskey. Please like us on YouTube at 2 Beers and a Whiskey. Look out for our Twitter and Snapchat, Instagram. We're gonna be all over this bitch. We're Media Blitz.
Media Blitz. We're coming at you.
Coming at you.
We're coming on you.
And I always insist on coming. This has been Alpha Nerds. You have a good night.